Alright, sunshines, it is another sassy chat, and today I'm discussing how to be happy and horny while sharing our bodies. And one of the main reasons why I want to discuss this topic with you today is because for a lot of us, being confident enough to enjoy our sensuality, to allow ourselves to be turned on, can come with all kinds of barriers en route. Maybe that's a barrier around how you feel about your body, the shame you might carry in the way that you appear. Maybe you've changed body shape, or perhaps you've grown something new and you're trying to become more confident in that new appearance. But another reason why it can be difficult to feel happy and horny while sharing our body might be because we're on our period, or we're in recovery from something that we've been through, a new surgery, an operation, childbirth. There can also be the mental stresses of everyday life that can make us very tired and wearisome. And that can make it difficult to really feel happy and horny while sharing our body, which is the topic of the day. So as always, I like to share these sassy chats with as many people as possible. So I'm live streaming here on JOYclub. Thanks for joining me, honey bunnies. And I'm also recording to you, beautiful sassy folks who are watching on YouTube. So I'm splitting my attention because I love to split it left, right and centre. Now, when was the last time that you fully felt confident and happy in your skin, in your soul, and were able to lead yourself through an intimate, sexy scenario and not get in your head? Not have a moment when you're like, oh, actually, I'm drying up, or I'm losing my hard on, or I actually don't like the way they're touching me right now, or that word they said, and my pleasure and my arousal and the rate of me feeling horny has gone from here, like 175,000% to like here, -7. Like we can flit so quickly, right, from one moment to another, especially in those intimate situations. Maybe we've entered a sex party for the first time, or we're new to a kink scene, or in a new environment with people that we've never met before. And we're trying to embrace our confidence. We're trying to be our best sassy selves, and we want to feel confident and radiant and shine. But actually, we've got all these thoughts coming into our head and they're making us feel insecure. It can be potentially seeing someone else that makes us start to compare ourselves and not feel good enough. Potentially we see someone who looks radiant and we're just stuck in our head thinking, I wish I looked like them. So this little chat is for me to remind you of different ways that you can start to embrace a much more positive mindset around your body. And most of the time for me, it's all about switching the idea of why I am allowing myself to be seen. Rather than putting yourself in a position of, I'm trying to get attention from people, I want to look sexy, I hope they find me attractive, what if they don't like the way I'm touching them, am I turning them on? Instead of being in that mindset, we actually can start to be the kings, queens and ims of our own world. We can recognize how glorious it is that we're opening ourselves up for other people to engage with us. And in doing so, we activate a sense of agency. We become our own advocate. And this is essential when it comes to intimate interactions with another human. Whether you're planning to have a big scene and you're wanting to experience impact play and bondage and putting on a gimp suit and wearing a gimp mask and maybe, you know, putting something up your bottom for the first time. I got so lost in those fantasies actually, backtrack, what was I even talking about? Or maybe, maybe that's not the scenario and you're just on a first date and you're just wanting to flirt with someone. Well, we have to make sure at all times that we're advocating for ourselves. We have to be the person who's able to say, I really appreciate the fact that you're flirting with me right now, but I need us to go slower. Or maybe you say to the person, it really helps for me to have tactile touch, maybe hand holding, a stroke on the cheek, an arm at the small of my back or my neck. those kind of baby steps will make me feel a lot more confident in sharing my body with you. And you're becoming this vocal advocate for what you need, as you would a best friend or your child or someone you cared for deeply. You need to start to think about how you can speak up for yourself as well. So maybe that means explaining that you want to keep all your clothes on for the first times that you engage with one another, that you're not comfortable with getting naked at this stage, that you'd much rather prefer that you only have your feet and lower legs touched. Or maybe you are feeling a lot more horny and ready and comfortable to have more intimate parts of your bodies touched. And in doing so, you can explain that. I would love you to touch me in this way. I remember having a threesome in a very beautiful environment here in my home. And it was with a new individual. I hadn't met her before. A friend had brought her. And I asked her, what turns you on? How do you want to be touched? What would feel really good? And she explained, moment for moment, what she wanted us to do to her nipples. She explained how she wanted us to first go really slow, one of us on each of her boobs, just licking around the nipple, not on the nipple, around it. And then she wanted gentle sucking on the nipples. And then after a long time of sucking, when she was ready, she asked us to nibble on the edge of her nipple. And this was her favourite spot of intimacy. It was her favourite way to play. It was her favourite way to engage in pleasure. It got her very turned on. But because we had this information of exactly how she wanted us to touch her nipples, we were able to do that confidently. And she gave me a beautiful example of someone who is advocating for themselves so they can really start to share their body happily and in a state of high arousal, which is the topic of the day. I like to step onto JOYclub and I like to do my sassy chats for YouTube, partly because I feel like a lot of these conversations get pushed down. We get sold a lot of ideas of what we should be like. We're also presented with these images and narratives in films and books and AI games. But the reality is that we're full of emotions and we're full of insecurities, and whether we've trained ourselves to be confident all the time or not, that can still creep in. As I mentioned before, maybe you're going through a recovery. Maybe you've lost the physical ability in a part of your body. Maybe your mind has changed. And all of these things are what we're able to be aware of and then vocalize to other people so that they can engage with us on a much more pleasurable and safe and trusting way. And I feel like trust is a big part of this. Trust is something that allows us to stand naked in front of someone else and be like, I want you to kiss me for 10 whole minutes. And then I want you to wash my body and wrap me in a towel, and I want to go to bed and I want you to cuddle me. And trust is something that allows us to try new things, new kinky things, new BDSM-y things. It allows us to dress up as a cat and let someone spank us for an hour while we meow. Trust is something that in the BDSM world I find is an essential part of that getting to know each other phase. Even when you're playing with an old friend, the reason you're able to just lay back and take things and then advocate for yourself throughout it to say, actually, can you go slower? Can you go harder? Do something funky? Well, I believe that those kinds of interactions are built off a foundation of trust. And how do we get to the part of trust? And I love that I'm talking about trust as a little message pops up on the screen here on JOYclub. Can you show us your body? So imagine asking that to a stranger. What is it that's going to help them feel comfortable and safe to share their body with you in a state of happiness? It takes sometimes the next word I'm going to say, which is respect. Firstly, if you would ask me, please, I would love to see your body, and you'd explain to me why you want to see my body, that might lead me to a point of actually being like, I feel good enough about opening up and sharing this part of me. But if you just go straight in and say, show me your tits, it's very rare that someone's going to turn around and be like, you know what, love, yeah, you sound deserving of seeing my beautiful knockers, here they are. So I think we need to remember respect. We always have to remember respect. Respect is what we show ourselves. And when we show ourselves respect, we're able to offer that respect to another individual. And that is crucial when it comes to sharing our bodies. We also have to respect the way that people will respond to us. And I've learnt this the hard way, actually. One of the most painful memories was being raped by someone who then took himself away from me and told me to go and shave my arm hair. And it felt like such a heavy double blow. Not only had I just had all elements of my own consent taken away from me and been abused sexually, I was then insulted for the way that I look. And that was such a double blow. No trust, no respect. Yet here I am today as a very sassy individual, someone who is learning to open myself up to other people in this trusting way. Someone who's able to stand naked at a kink party and look out for other people in the role of as a safeguarder, to be an advocate for them. So when they feel uncomfortable, they can come and talk to me about it and I will look after them. I will sort out that situation with the help of the other team members of that party. I'm someone who's able to stand up for myself, and that's taken 6 years of learning. So if you've tuned into this sassy chat about how to share our bodies with happiness and horniness, I cannot exaggerate how important it is for you to be able to, number one, respect and feel happy and horny in your own body with yourself. We know, we hear a lot about self-love. Well, you can go in bloody deep with that stuff and you can really start to love every part of you, sexually or non-sexually. And then from that place of understanding your worth, of understanding how you want to engage with people and what you're looking for and the kinds of touch and sensuality and conversations and care that you're looking for, you're able to communicate that, be more confident in yourself, to relax into the moment and know that you're trusting that person in front of you because they've heard you, they've responded to you, they've listened to you. If they're not doing those things, then as your own sassy advocate, you take yourself away. And it's not always easy, especially when you have grown up being told time and again that you just need to lay back and take it from someone, otherwise it's dangerous, otherwise you don't know what they're going to do, otherwise they'll be disappointed, otherwise you would have let them down, otherwise you'll be called a bad shit shagger in bed, I don't know, some reputation. We have to flick away all of these thoughts and think, how will I feel tomorrow knowing I didn't speak up for myself in this situation? I want a softer touch. I want to take a pause. I want you to strip for me and I just want to watch it. I want us to take a shower together. All these things that you can do to feel in a much better state of confidence and reassurance, to know that you are your best advocate in these moments of vulnerability. If you are looking to up your sassy wonder, to get to this mindset, and as I said, it took me 6 years, then I'm giving you a little bit of a speedy pass on the track to confidence. I have 5 fabulous workshops coming up in the next couple of months. We're going to be looking at embodying confidence, how to dress to impress. We're also going to be looking at solo sensuality, how to touch, taste, and smell our way into our sass before we end with edging our senses. And these workshops, they're seminar style, similar to this, but with more exercises and a lot more sass involved. Their tickets are available on the Wax app, WeAreX, under the Sassy Show. And I really hope that you take this opportunity to join me to figure out how you can start to really love the reflection looking back at you, how you can move from self-consciousness to self-awareness, and how you can enjoy your pleasure on every level of becoming more confident and defying all of those voices in your head or around you that's telling you that you're not good enough, that you don't know what you're doing, that that person will never fancy you, that you're shit in bed, whatever the concern is, we're here to smash that, break it down. We don't want it. So I really hope you'll join me. If you want to see more of my sassy work, I'm on Instagram at BxSassy2. And I also run my own multimedia platform. I run it as a podcast. I have videos up on YouTube. And the whole reason behind the Sassy Show is to give people more examples of these ways of living, of how to kick ass, really, and transform the narratives that we're told, the things that are commonly represented in a wrong way, in a way that causes shame or stigma. We go in deep on sex and body positivity, but my guests range from all walks of life, and I've been across 5 continents interviewing people, so please dig into the archives and find those fabulous interviews and get inspired how you can be more yourself, more confident, leading the way in your personality, in your body image, in your sexuality, and in your passions. So thank you for joining in. I hope you're having a very sassy day. And yeah, just remember, you can be happy and horny when sharing your body.